once you take the fuel relay out from that one, like I said, it fits on that one, and then this here group that's plugged in fits on that one back there. And once you take that screw out, all of those fall right off. Now, okay, this here has to have been where that one connected. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4 and 2. Yeah, so that one there connects into this one. That one connects into that one, and they both fit back there on that. Okay, and then off of that main line as well, you're going to have this one here. If you have a manual, it's got 2 lines actually. This is going to that one. And it's going to be, actually there's 3. And it's going to be that set right there, which is going to the clutch pedal. These 3. Right there. Those 3 runs to the main line, runs to the clutch. And then also coming off the main line, which runs along with the one that's split for the fuel relay, the line that's split with it. I don't know if you can see it right there. Okay, bringing it around. Okay, now this here line that separate, this line here is running for the fuel relay. This here, one section that comes off in this line is going to the fuel relay, and then the other part connects to that piece right in there. Okay, correction. The one that I was saying that had 3 on this one, it's actually 2, and that's actually the brake line. This one here, it was that one, which is the brake line, that middle one, which is the one, that one. That had, it's actually 2, it's coming off. Now the clutch, this one here, far left, it coming off the main line, it's going to be that last connection on this. In my situation, it's the last connection, and you're going to have 2 that's hooking up there. One is going directly to the clutch itself, which is that line there, and then this line here just hooks up right alongside of it. Like I say, this one is going to the clutch off the main power line, wire line. This one runs to the clutch. This one also runs, it breaks off from the whole unit, but it only hooks up to that line next to it. And like I said, once again, that one there is the brake. And I think I may have said it, mentioned it as clutch earlier with 3 lines, but it's actually, it looks like 2 lines going in it. As a matter of fact, that's the line there that came off of it. It had those set of lines. This is the line that came off of it. It had those set of lines going to it, and it's actually just the 2 connections that hooks up to the brake, and the one that hooks up to the clutch, and then you got one right next to it. Okay, so those are all the connections to the main line. Now is to see what it looks like in the fuse box and see if we can't get that disconnect. Okay, what I want to attempt now is to remove that seal here that runs along the edge of the inside, and I'm believing it's got some screws right there along under the whole way around that might just be supporting. Yep, you see it runs up along under there and hold that. So I'm gonna remove those screws and see if we can't get that off. Okay, for me, once you get the screws out, once you get the screws out, I started from this corner and I pushed in, slid it in. Once you get the screws out, I started from this edge, this corner, and pushed in and just slid it all the way around and worked it all the way out. For me, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 screws that held it in place. Okay, next I'm going to pull this door trim for the front. So, okay, just pulls right off there. And you get up here to the corner. Okay, I see where it has a little cosmetic hole there, some holes around there. That seems look pretty good. So we're gonna see what it takes to pop that loose. See if we can't work it. Okay, there's a spot there. Okay, that's popped it loose, and it just looks like it just peels right on off from the edge after this here corner one comes out. So let's see if started pulling on this side, but I want to see what I had to document on it. So looks like you're gonna be able to get to it from here. Peel that piece back to get to that. Peel that up and back around over it. Peel it back and over it like that, and pop that out. Careful not to rip it, but it looks like it's been pulled once. I don't know if that's some kind of repair stuff, but I got a solution for that. It's not that bad, but if we go back with it, let's see, does the rest just pull? Yeah, from there it just pulls right on off. Okay. And that's all that's holding that in place. Is it's been held here and on that corner, and the rest just slides right over it. I would imagine putting some, when we go back, put a sheet of silicone. I imagine when we go back, it feels like they have some silicone up there, so we'll put an edge of it around the whole thing to hopefully seal it off. The main one I'm worried about is this one. I don't know how to get under this one, so I'm going to look it up and see if I can't get that off. If not, you know what, I don't really think I'm going to worry about that one as much. Don't look like anything is around and anything seeping around it, so I probably won't worry about that one as much. We'll see as we keep moving along. Next, I'll be taking these out of place. It looks like it's just removing that screw, and they feed right on to the back. So I'm going to go ahead. So far, everything has been pretty much a 10 mil. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that out of place, get it removed, and we'll see what we'll be tinkering with next. Okay, I'll pull the gas and trunk release latch, and what I did was, instead of coming in here and taking this off, since it's aligned pretty much with the trunk, instead of taking it off, all I did was disconnect the cable. Just slide it around, and you'll see how you can slide it up, and it'll come to that little slot right there at the top. Slide the cable up into that slot and then slide it out. And that's all I did. So when I go back with it, all I have to do is align the cable back into that position, align it back into there, sort of align back up in there in that little slot, and pull it back around and slide that back into place right there, and that'll have the cable back in place. Instead of removing the whole trunk latch, I just moved the cable. Now I can tuck that cable in or do whatever with this cable and paint around it, instead of going through the hassle of trying to line it back up. Okay, for the windshield wipers, we will see if we can't remove those right quick. There's a little cap here that fits over it, and that is a 12 mil. Just break it loose. Okay, to get the wiper blade arm off, it's going to be just as simple as getting something down under here and popping it up. So before you take them completely off, I would suggest you come here and make a mark so you can line the blade back up whenever you get ready to put them back on. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then we'll pop that off. Okay, I don't have a Sharpie or anything handy, but I don't know if you can quite see it. I scored a little mark on the metal, and then you can see right there on the wiper arm, that little spot right there, and then there's another little one right there on that I should be able to line up. I don't have a Sharpie out here to mark it, but those are my marks. When I go back, I have to make sure that one is lined up with that one, and they should be right in place about where I want them once we go back putting it back together. And to show you right quick how we popped it up, like I said, just get something that you can put under here. If it won't work itself loose on its own, just get something, put something down, maybe a cloth or whatever, but it's not gonna take put something under it, under the edge, like so, and just barely just work your way around. Once you get that first little pull, that should break it on through. And just work it around gently, and you see it should pop right on up. And like I said, now we have our mark. Got a mark there to line it up. And like I said, now we have a mark. We got a mark there, and there's a little one right there on the wiper arm itself. So when we go back, we'll know to line those two marks up. Okay, to get this off, this little guard piece, get this little guard piece off, you're gonna have to, it's got these little pieces right there along it, along the edge. Pop them off, and it's got a little screw in behind it. It's not a cosmetic piece, it's gonna just pop out. So you're gonna have to get something to pop that off. If not, you're gonna, if you try to pull it, it's gonna snap it. Well, I can either Gorilla Glue it back in place or get a new one whenever the time comes. But make sure you pop these out. Make sure you pop these out, because like I said, there's a screw in behind it. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, look like 7. You're gonna have to remove 7. 2 of these, 1 at each end, and then you got 5 of those that's going to be in the middle. Okay, I'm documenting these because this here is the parts that came off the windshield, that little piece at the bottom, that cosmetic piece at the bottom of the windshield. And I'm documenting them because I don't have a plastic bag at the moment to drop them in, and so I'm going to just drop them in the parts bucket. But this here is to let me know which parts I'm working with. So we got the screws removed, and sure enough, right there is where all this stuff is coming in from. It's being sucked in somehow. We're going to see if we can't figure out something to put over that to help prevent it. Because as I start to pull this guard off here, this here piece started to crumble. So just to keep in mind when I go back with it, that's going to hold some type lines or something, but I think it should come right on out. Yeah. But as you see, it's just that holding it on. And now to take these 2 screws out, and then we can pop that plate off. Okay, see, I cleaned some of that stuff out, but that goes right down to the inside. That's comes in through your ventilation system. This is, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to, once I put it back together, I'll know if it was actually hooked up to the air duct or not, but that leads directly to the inside. And all of this is what's back behind there. This here, I don't know if while it was parked, if it was under a tree, or the hood was open or off. As you notice, it had a different hood. That's why maybe a lot of the debris, leaves and stuff is on the inside. Perhaps the hood was off for a moment. But at any rate, all of that stuff that was sucked in there had to be while it was running, hood off or on, for it to be pulled down and hanging on the inside, it had to have been sucking it on the inside through ventilation. But look at all that residue, the remnants of the trees and leaves and all that. Look at all that residue and remnants from the trees that has collected in behind that. So what I'm gonna do is come up with some type screen or something in order to hopefully catch it. If it was just sitting under a tree still, hopefully we can come up with something that would catch and prevent a lot of those larger pieces from getting in. So the smaller pieces will probably still be broken off and sucked on down to the inside, but I'm going to try to come up with something to help cut that back so we won't have that problem. I know that can't be good. Okay, I want to get a shot of the fuse box. Okay. The way it sits in there. That's still on the inside, so they don't need to come off. One, two, three. Four on this end, two on this side. Okay, this is the under the hood fuse box, and that's the line that runs all the way down to the battery that's in the trunk. That's my battery post. This is that line. It came out from here. Fuse box, under the hood fuse box line. Okay, now this is the rest of the wires that hooked up to the, this is the rest of the wires that run into the inside from here. So I'm going to try to pull this cluster of wires out, and then we'll move to that side. Okay, and on this cluster we got one wire that down here. Insert line. So we're going to get that removed and pull this cluster of wires. Okay, feeding the last of these wires through this hole. Okay, so on this side, the wires, the driver's side, that runs under the dash, goes in right there. Okay, on the driver's side, the wires that runs under the hood from the inside goes in right here, so we'll pop that grommet. I have a bolt here. We're going to have to take this one loose, and that runs to the wire that comes under here that runs to that. So we're going to disconnect that. We got everything else disconnected on this side. Everything else is already disconnected. I'm going to pull it through here. I also see where they put the cable in for the hood latch. So we're going to have to work around that. Probably end up disconnecting it from the hood. But that's going to have to come out of place as well. It looks like we're going to have to remove the hood latch in order to get the cable off. We're going to remove that. These are 10 millimeters. And it looks like 3, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to get those removed. See if we can't get that latch off, that cable off the latch. Okay, once you take the hood latch out of place, just flip it over and you'll see that, see where it hooks up there? It's got that little slot right down there that you push it down and out through that slot. I don't know if I can quite get it with one hand so you can see it. Like I say, you're going to have to get a screwdriver or something, but push it down through that little hole right there, so it's right above, and then you'll be able to slide the cable out. Okay, not only will you need to push the ball down and through that hole, but right here you got this little plate. They put this little plate right here on it, right here, that's attached to this spring right here. And what you'll need to do is push down on these tabs. It works better if you push down from on the inside. Those two little tabs right there, one on that side, one on that side of the little ball that holds it in place. But push down on those, and that will allow you to unseat it from there. See how we push by pushing down? You can see where it slid down and how this is ready to pop out now. So instead of so it looks like apparently you do not have to remove this completely or de-spring it, but just push this plate down far enough to where you can slide the ball right on out from the end. That's how you move your hood latch cable. And that's how you move your hood latch cable. You probably could do it without having to remove this, but it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to get. You probably could do it without removing it, I'm not sure, but it looks like it's going to be pretty hard to get down in there if you don't remove the whole latch itself. So since it's removed, I'm going to just put it to the side so this here will be painted, make sure that gets painted as well.